A very good evening and welcome to Aberdeen Sports Village in Scotland, here for live coverage of the Netball Europe Open Challenge and Under-21 Championships, brought to you live and exclusively by QTV Sports in association with Inspire Sports and Visit Aberdeenshire. I'm Lynn Carpenter and I'll be taking you through this second day of 4 action-packed days of live coverage from both the Under-21 Championship, featuring England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, and from the Open Challenge Cup, featuring our developing nations, Israel, Gibraltar and the Republic of Ireland. And for the first time, we are delighted to welcome the team from Bermuda, who are taking part in our invitational section this weekend. So a quick look at the rest of the weekend. Saturday sees 4 games taking place, 2 in the Challenge Cup and 2 at the Under-21. But here tonight, this evening, is the second of the Under-21 matches between our host nation, Scotland and Wales. And I'm delighted to be joined tonight in the commentary box by Tracy Neville, England coach, former England player. Tracy, it's great to have you here this evening.
Thank you, Lynn.
So, Under-21 Championships leading into Botswana in July. We know that all 4 teams who are competing this weekend will play in Botswana because they qualified last year. How do you think the tournament's going to play out?
I think just looking at England's objectives for this tournament, we currently have 24 potential Under-21 squad members out in competition this week. So for them girls, it's about competing for a place at the World Youth or into the long squad, which will start training in June. So it's a real pressure tournament for these girls. They're all vetting for a place in that World Youth squad with the potential of actually going out there to Botswana. So selection is this week, so it's what they can actually do in this competition. I think the exciting thing for me with the squad that actually is represented at Netball Europe is they're here representing the Roses, but also they're here to maintain quite a winning record for England over the competition. So for us, you know, there's no substandard performance here. They have objectives to meet, they have individual performance to meet, but they also have a team goal as well, which is quite exciting for a team that have probably only been together for 3 days, but today they showed real good potential, and you know that they've really set the bar in respect to competing for that World Youth place.
And here tonight we will see 2 nations who are also competing for places. When the teams played in the qualifier last October, England won, Scotland was second, Wales third and Northern Ireland 4th. So a few months on, that World Youth Cup in sight, everything to play for all the teams this evening.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. Obviously, we always know that our last day is always against Wales, so to have Scotland mouse them off that second spot is making the competition more competitive, and is showing what great work that people like Gail Parata and Leslie MacDonald are doing with their youngsters.
So let's just take a look for the viewers at home who are looking at the squads. Let me just tell you who is taking to the court this evening. So for Scotland, goalkeeper McPhail, in goal defence is Sutherland, wing defence Enon, at centre Metcalf, wing attack Boyle, goal attack McDonald, and the shooter is Bethan Gooden. Now over to Wales this evening. They see Layla Thomas take the court goalkeeper, Powell on at goal defence, Fern Davis at wing defence, centre Chloe Dyke, wing attack Beth Johnson, goal attack Sarah Llewellyn, and their goal shooter this evening is their captain Chloe James. So we will shortly be handing over the match to our officials this evening and get it underway. This is the last of 5 games today here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. And remember, if you're tuning in from home and want to send Tracy or I a message, please use our hashtag #NELoveNetball. We'd love to hear from you. So this is going to be a competitive game, Tracy, if previous run-ins between Wales and Scotland or anything to go by.
Yeah, and with Davis obviously leading from the back, you know, loads of Super League experience, and Beth Sutherland leading from the Scotland team. I do expect this to be a really defensive game.
So first attempt at goal, which puts Wales onto the scoreboard. So Chloe James, the captain there, taking full responsibility. Good turnover by Davis.
It'd be interesting to see what kind of style that Scotland bring to the court tonight. If you look at obviously their older counterparts, you know they're playing more of a rotation, a real fast-moving game. So it'd be interesting if some of that has rubbed off on some of them youngsters that have actually stepped out on court in Super League and really gained some experience from the people like Ellen Halfpenny and Carla Borrego.
So Scotland have an opportunity to head for a goal for the first time in this game. Well held by Goodwin in there. It's very good competitive defence by Wales.
Real range defenders from Powell and Thomas.
So Wales showing a little bit more early control, although perhaps a little bit frenetic out there by both sides, both wanting to make an impact in the game.
Yeah, I always think a start is a little bit scrappy. You know, where you're looking to take your high percentage shots nearer the post, you know, get the ball to the edge of the circle, just some real clear guidelines for teams when they first start out, particularly when they're playing for their country.
Boyle with the ball. Good hands there, good vision under the post. Fine Goodwin. And 1-1. Wales centre pass. Powell finding Dyke in the bottom corner. Good drive into the circle there, taking the front cut by Llewellyn for Wales.
Some real experienced umpires out here tonight, Lynn, and you know they're going to be asking these defenders to keep it clean, keep off the body, and look like they're trying to change the game as Gary just did then.
I think we're really fortunate this weekend with some of the umpires we have, you know, some of the best in the region.
Yeah, and even some of the developing ones. We had a lady from Gibraltar, someone who's not known to us, but I think she really controlled the game.
Samet, one of the up-and-coming umpires. She's ITID identified. Great for Gibraltar, because we talk a lot, Tracy, about the players can only be as good on the court as everybody supporting, including the officials and the umpires off the court. And we're delighted with developing nations with Gibraltar and Nadine. Quick transition there into the circle. Llewellyn just couldn't control that ball.
She'll be really frustrated with that. What a great rotational circle from James and Llewellyn. You know, that's what you want to see, you shoot a power drive out and then into the circle.
Good one then again, linking well with McDonald. Two all in this first quarter, the final game today. Wales taking on Scotland. Good support by Davis. As you're saying, Tracy, a number of these players on both sides have some Super League experience.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little bit of nerves from the Welsh side. They just can't seem to get that final ball into the circle, which will be frustrating for the coaches. And a lot of it is just playing that real simple game of, you know, getting someone ball side and really giving clarity about where the space you're going to be feeding the ball from. Which Scotland, to be honest, in respect to Goodwin, she's really giving that. And the way she's doing that is she's really propping up on that defender, so the space is really clear for that feeder.
So McDonald's not afraid either to put the shot up. So just under 10 minutes left of this first quarter. Scotland slightly ahead, 3-2, but had the turnover on the Welsh centre pass into Goodwin.
Goodwin looking like the dominant shooter in the first 5 minutes of the game, and someone that probably Wales need to shut down, and they possibly could. They've got lovely long rangey defenders who can really get the ball, but they really need to start persisting and getting their feet round, because like I say, she's setting up quite strongly on them, so she's really giving that wing attack the obvious space to feed that ball into.
So good hands there by Rachel Enon at wing defence. Unfortunately, Scotland couldn't keep the ball. Powell looking to link with Davis. Into Dyke, and great rotation there between the shooters. Into Llewellyn. Nice, good shot.
Oh, great setup by the Wales defence on the line there. The 3 over promoting that first phase, but allowing that keeper to come out on that fly. And to be honest, that was put on Twitter for me.
So Thomas taking full advantage of her commitment there.
I think Llewellyn is the first thing. What Wales are doing at the moment, they're asking for every ball behind the defender. So, you know, Scotland are doing really good in respect to setting up in front and forcing that Welsh team back towards that back line. And they need to get people in front of the ball.
You can see that there. That's just a slight misunderstanding between the two defenders in Scotland. Who was going to go? Left Llewellyn free. So very evenly matched game at this stage.
And that's something that Scotland should have done down the other end. Bring that keeper out and then feed the shooter.
Great vision there by Llewellyn. James in a captain role, making no mistake. So Scotland bring the ball down. Good take by Goodwin.
Oh.
Unlucky there. Dyke judged to have contacted into McDonald. Metcalf, great vision there under the post to Goodwin. And not always an easy shot for shooters, that one.
Yeah, under the post they're meant to be 100% security, but they tend to be the, how do I say, the jinx shots.
So Scotland is doing a really good job at forcing the long balls, and just unfortunate.
Again, what they want to try and do is promote like the triangle ball, so get that ball out to the edge of the circle and really clear up them lines into circle, because at the moment Scotland are doing a really good job of getting that ball side positioning.
What were you just saying a second ago?
That's what you do, innit? You look at that one, they fed that one, then go for the shooter.
So it's almost tempting the keeper to come out, and worked the last time, but I think Scotland were very much wiser at this time round.
If you look at the second phase movement from Wales, they're going down into some deep phases, but actually no one moving them defenders, so they're allowing Scotland at the moment to really keep that diamond structure. And as their centre did then, she needs to keep persisting through the spaces and just working that ball to the circle.
James puts another one away. 7-6 in this first quarter to Wales against Scotland. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Donald out circle using Metcalf to good effect. Great drive by the baseline there. Freed up Goodwin. Ease the ball into the circle. Effective split of the defence.
Why would you do that?
No pressure on Wales there, just through the ball.
I think that's a missed opportunity from Davis in that position. I think that's where she needs to use her experience and think, right, play one more to the circle. He had 2 shooters on 1 defender.
And that on their own centre pass, so now gives Scotland an opportunity, if they score this, to go a couple ahead. But well read by Powell. Llewellyn up quite deep. Johnson. That pressure from Scotland.
Yes.
There you go.
I question that decision that Burgess made there. I do think she come off the body and come round into the space to take that ball. So she was really unlucky there, Eon, in respect to receiving that intercept.
Great roll there by James. Nicely done. And there we go. 8-all, back to Wales centre pass. Quite a lot of contacts being called early in the game.
The thing I'm not quite clear of with the Scotland defenders is what they're setting up on that defensive line, where I'm starting to understand what Wales are trying to do, and I think that is what's causing them contacts, because they're not sure which player is going on which player as they're coming over that line.
So McDonald, Scotland, good hands again by Powell, putting pressure over the ball.
I really like the way Thomas is playing. She's coming out, she's tempting. I think she looks like the most experienced one behind her and Powell.
So it looks like the umpire. I don't think it was a formal caution, didn't say caution, but I think she was just asking her to clean the game up a little bit.
Oh. Not sure what she did then, Lynn.
No. It might be for what the umpire is perceiving to be persistent body contact.
That was much better from Scotland. And you look at the structure that they had one goal attack being forced back, and they made the wing attack come on that real diagonal run, which then enables defenders to come and take that intercept.
So yet again, Rachel Enon there at wing defence for Scotland, really putting pressure.
Thomas again. Oh. I think that's a failure of Thomas at the moment. She goes, but then it's the recovery back to that post position. I think if she just got that little bit of footwork right, I think she'd be taking most loads of ball in this game.
There she goes, she's getting sucked out, but she's not putting any pressure on the goal shooter. Good win.
Yeah, but I think a lot has to be done up on that line from Davis and Powell. They're letting them centre court get down to the circle edge. And that wing attack, she has got a little bit more experience than probably some of you would expect at this competition, and she's getting in some lovely positions.
Great defence there. Out of court. So good pressure again by Scotland. Sutherland trying to bring the game down now. Enon. Ooh. Good control there. Just waiting. Powell coming round a bit slow, a bit late. Good footwork there by Goodwin. Could have gone.
Yeah.
So that gives Scotland a slight lead, 12-9, 2.5 minutes left in this first quarter.
Oh. If Goodwin just did Powell did a little bit more, bring her back, bring Thomas back to that goal shooter, and then Powell can play on that goal attack sweeping the front. But at the moment, they're just letting that shooter stand in the middle, and the ball's just coming all the way over the edge.
And missed shot down the other end. Means Scotland come out with the turnover.
Oh.
Great quick ball, great vision and work between McDonald and Goodwin in there.
And reverse roll, what a beautiful reverse roll from Goodwin. I think Goodwin's offering something that Wales are not getting from their captain James, and that is the security on the shot.
There is something for a team about the ease with which the ball goes into the shooter, the confidence it creates in the team when the players can see they can pop the ball into the shooter.
And the fluency
strong.
that it comes in as well, Lynn.
And there we go again, and that gives Scotland a 6-goal lead with just a minute and a half left.
And just think, Lynn, at the moment they've not got Tate at the moment. I presume she's out injured, so they still have some injured players coming back into this squad to actually add more strength to them for World Youth. So what a real positive thing going forward for Scotland.
And of course, what an opportunity for those players who are here this weekend. You know, somebody really disappointing who might be injured, but for others it's an opportunity and a lifeline to perhaps get on that flight to Botswana.
Yeah, and that's what Claire Regal said as I was talking to her. She said, you know, at the moment this is really just training games for them, prepping them for World Youth. This is not the selection, but gives opportunities to challenge them who are sat at home, obviously, to secure their place. And I think that's what sometimes coaches don't realise. We see them in selection opportunities, we see them in training, but you can never obviously assess a player until they're really in competition. And I feel I've played with a lot of players like you have probably, Lynn, as well, that train really badly but come out and become match winners. And you can't judge your players on the training environment. You have to see what they do in competition.
As you say, it's a very different environment out there. You know, very close game. Well, just very clever. He's right there holding the centre up. just slightly not to lose her centre pass. So, end of the first quarter here. Very exciting, fast-paced game. Scotland 17, Wales on 11. So, thoughts? What are Wales going to say to their players?
We talked a lot about, and I would probably focus more on the attack, because that is where they're actually losing a lot of ball, and the players are spending a lot of time running away from the ball, not getting ball tied positionings, running on the wide angles, so obviously having someone penetrate that middle to really draw them defenders and move it down. I do think that James could step up a little bit more in this game. She's had a few crucial shots that was the difference between a 2-goal lead and then a 4-goal lead. So I think as a captain, I think she could take more responsibility, or if she wants to play more out the circle, let's look at how we can get Llewellyn in to take on them shots. But you can see with Scotland, they're doing some fine work, and that probably is down to the coaching of Leslie MacDonald in respect to getting their shooters in high percentage positions and making sure that everything is high percentage. Wing attack on the edge of the circle, goal shooters under the post, and really securing and making the most of their centre passes.
So I'm imagining that Scotland are going to want more from the players of the same that they've just seen. Take out one or two of those errors, make sure their defenders really tighten down. So the times Wales get the ball down in attack, just keep that pressure on that little bit longer. Do more of that. 6 goals up so far. That's quite a gap already in a game like this.
With netball these days, Lynn, and we watch the Australian League, we watch the English League, we watch the New Zealand League. Anything can happen, and I really would like the mentality of players to think 6 goals is only 3 intercepts, and when you think of it like that, you think actually this game is not lost. And even if you took it on the premise that you're going to get 1 back a quarter, you're back in the game. And it'd be interesting to see what changes Wales make, if they make any, or what information they're going to give to their players to really make a difference. And I think one of the major differences is about the conversion of their centre passes, because I really do think at the moment that is letting them down. And with Scotland at the moment, they're not really secure on what they're doing when they're mixing the lineup. So actually, let's get Scotland's defence in a real uncomfort. Let's get them contacting, get them out of play, and really maximise that. And we've not seen them do that.
So lots more to see in this game. And of course, if you're watching at home, I hope you're enjoying the match this evening. Remember, you can send us your views on the game, a photograph of you watching, to our hashtag #MeLoveNetball. Let Tracy and I know what you're thinking, and we'll try to give you a mention. So it might be that we have some changes from the Welsh side. We will wait to hear the official.
From observations, Lynn, at the moment, they look like they're changing their shooter, moving James out to goal attack and bringing Hitchens on to goal shooter, which we've said there is a problem or a lack of connection within that shooting circle. Not quite seeing any other changes at the moment. It looks like the defence is staying the same, and there have been opportunities. They are winning ball and they are going for ball. I would really like to see Powell now. She's so rangy. If she could utilise that range now in just moving her feet, I actually don't think they should be getting easy ball in Scotland, because she has got the ability to actually come round, and she is a really, from what I'm seeing at the moment, a real talented defender, and is really hungry to get that ball.
So the other change that we can see is Llewellyn, who started at goal attacks, now out at wing attack. Johnson takes to the bench. Notes from the bench officials confirmed that the starting 7 in this quarter for Wales. Scotland lead 17-11.
Said about that second phase of centre pass for Wales, so you can understand that there were good coaching decisions from the Welsh bench.
There we go. We had a turnover there. Sloan Davis taking the intercept. Sutherland putting a lot of pressure on James. Unlucky there.
Yeah, just a little bit of hesitancy then. You know, we say if you delay the ball, there's a missed opportunity, let's go somewhere else. And at the moment, it seems that Wales are just a little bit nervous on their ball. it's just wasted opportunities. It's frustration from me sat up here when, you're 6 goals down, and I feel that Wales have come out here to actually get back into the game, and then you go and throw a woeful pass like that when they had, a prime goal attack opportunity right in front of her.
There was no need for that. There was plenty of opportunity. They went to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Giving Scotland an opportunity.
I think Llewellyn's doing a great job on that line, though, in respect to getting out for that first phase. And the way James is playing at the moment, she's playing in a deeper position, being able to get that ball. It's a real positive in respect to what they're doing in their attack. They just need now to hit themselves from A to B.
So this gives Scotland an opportunity. They convert on the centre pass. Go 8 goals ahead. Much better pressure by Wales. Playing a little bit more diamond defending there, which is what you were describing earlier. That hasn't stopped the ball going in. McDonald taking a shooting opportunity.
Yeah.
8 goals now the difference. Leon there, very close.
I'm really impressed with Leon. And people are just sitting, waiting, and then she just comes flying through that ball. You think you would have learned from that now that she's a smaller player, she's going to be quick, and they need to run onto every ball like it's their favourite chocolate bar.
Might not have particularly long arms, but she certainly has speed and vision and the ability to time her drive the ball really effectively. Very competitive in there, in that circle. Edwin just held on to that, unfortunate for Wales there. McLeod didn't quite get a hand to it.
Oh, again!
I think Llewellyn looks like she's disappointed. I think we say, don't do it perhaps. Once is bad enough, twice perhaps.
Yeah, and she can show frustration, but you learn from the first time, and I don't know if she just wants to throw in that magical ball, but they're not in a stage to be enjoying this game at the moment. This is about hard work, grit, and really starting to play a possession up to that circle edge.
Great shot by Goodwin again under pressure. Wales keeper Thomas Pudding, a really good mark on Pent, just hesitating about coming out or not, as the case may be.
Yeah, at the moment, the Welsh defence, they seem to be setting like a 3 over, but actually when the ball lands, they're not then getting into recovery position. So that wing attacker, every single ball is getting that ball over the top, but unchallenged. And like I say, they just need to sharp up on that and really stop it, because the main people in this game are wing attack and goal shooter.
And as we can see, the effect on this game is that Scotland now take a 10-point lead. 23 against Wales 13. 16's not looking comfortable in there, not wanting to put the cross up.
The simplicity of the way they played that up, the short passes, getting the ball to the top, playing it in, and then suddenly they just let themselves down by trying to be a little bit too flash. And like I say, at the moment, let's get some hands on this ball and let's get it through the ring.
Okay. Seems to be a desire of both teams now to throw the long ball, which clearly is not working.
Good decision by Davis then not to pick the centre, which Scotland were trying to attempt.
Look. Called out wide, James. Calm it down. Better, but unfortunately, good rebound in there.
Oh, she was very, very lucky there, Hitchens.
3 goes and not getting it in. James got to move her feet a bit more. Great move by the wing attack there. Lots of doubling offers going on. Great vision.
Flat ball from a wing attack who's relatively short against a taller player. Fern needs to get back and put some arms over there and really get that ball lifted to these long-range defenders that are in the circle.
Well held by James down the baseline. Confident, good shot, confident.
first choice shooter, but obviously he's offering something here, and I think that's more the combination of Llewellyn and James. I think one of Llewellyn's strength is about them positions around that circle edge against that Enon, and Enon can't get them, and she's starting to figure that out now. Now she needs to utilise it.
So Scotland pull back one of the turnovers, so we're back to 8.
Look, how simple is that, Lynn? Two shooters come together, one after the forward, one after the base.
Well, wasn't it some of the best coaches in the world who said to keep it simple, netball's a simple game?
Yes.
We make it too complicated
And smart.
sometimes. Good pressure by Wales, and they're making it difficult for Scotland to get out their own third. Sutherland now. Enon. Good hands again by James.
Again, easy ball connection between that wing attack goal shooter and that. You've got to try and stop that. How can you get that wing attack away from that goal shooter? And there's been no plan in respect to that defenders. Look at them. They've got as much space as they want, and ball delivery on that as well. There were 3 passes there, and not one was challenged by a Welsh defender.
I think Wales were lucky there. The Scotland players just happened to put their foot outside, and quite a few of the players are having difficulty with where that sideline is.
Yeah, the green and red lines are a little bit confusing. I did say to Cat Rat and Power on the bench, I went, it'll be interesting to see where they set the centre pass up some of these girls.
David supporting well in attack. Good rotation.
Oh.
That was a great move, which James saw. Hitchin just couldn't quite keep hold of it. But again, just a little bit too much, not looking after the ball.
Yeah.
Wasn't a difficult pass out.
And I'd like to say that Hitchens is very delicate with her hands. Needs simple ball played into her. Nothing on the reach, and it seems like her team's not actually working with that.
So it looks like an injury by the Welsh goalkeeper. So Thomas comes off. See how.
I think this looks like Walker Jones, Lynn, who's come on and replaced her.
So slightly taller, still got very good aerial game. I think you're right, Tracy. So let's see how that disrupts the Scotland attack. Right. Goodwin and McDonald are ready for it. Well, centre pass. Scotland now lead 26-16 with 5 minutes of the second quarter to go. With a Scotland turnover here. Better Welsh defence there, yeah.
Oh, that's the impact the keeper wants to have on. And Walker Jones, come on, makes that intercept. She just needs to get her hands on it now.
Interesting, as they made that interception, Wales have also switched their goal attack. So James is now off. We have Baker on goal attack for Wales. Walker Jones wins the intercept there, but unfortunately Wales can't capitalise on it. Good interception there by David.
Let's see if these changes make a difference, Lynn. We've asked what we want from these shooters. We want simplicity, ball side positioning, nothing flash, nothing fancy.
They're just not bringing the ball quite down to the circle edge enough. They're putting pressure on.
Oh, Lynn.
There.
Yeah, I actually think the problem here is actually the centre, Lynn. I think they're playing with 3 attackers in this attacking third, and I think the centre needs to do a little bit more getting down into that deeper and quicker down into that goal third.
Chloe Dyke has been a little bit quiet on there. You'd argue that the centre for Scotland is doing a great job against her. That's Rebecca Metcalf having a good game.
thought James, the captain, probably would be heading back onto the court. Never ideal to have your captain sat on your bench in this situation. You need them there supporting the team and getting them back into this game.
The distance before the shot was away properly, so if you can get the second goal, doesn't make any difference. And we now up to 12. So rather than having 3 turnovers, it's now 6 in this quarter. Starting to be a little bit more of a challenge, and a bit of a misunderstanding there between Baker and Llewellyn. Baker just having come on the court.
Interesting, I'd probably say Baker's 5'7" and trying to look for an overball on that is probably a little bit too ambitious by Llewellyn, but you can see she's a little bit frustrated with herself at the moment.
Good drive there by Davis. 6 things out. Strike looking for an option into Baker. And she'll be pleased with that. First attempt to go.
My memory of Wales, Lynn, when we used to play, was always a really small goal attack and a really tall goal shooter, and then the goal attacks generally were like 100% shooters, and you were thinking, how can they shoot? But they're so clever. The goal attacks that Wales produce, they turn quick and they get to post before that defence can set up.
Unfortunately, no. So it's helpful to have height in the circle. That speed is also something that works really well. But that's great vision in there. Done by Scotland, finding Goodwin easily. Walker Jones is getting drawn out a little bit too deep. Jones looking for the long ball in. She's indicating. Quick driver on the baseline by Baker.
Yeah, and you see the impact that Dyke makes when she goes down to that circle edge, and it just seems like she's trying to save her energy, save some of her power during the game to not get down there, but she does make a difference.
Oh, unlucky. What a great vision there by Scotland to win the attack. Boyle finding Goodwin, didn't quite hold on to the ball. So 1 minute to go. Now you'd be expecting these teams to be absolutely aware of what's happening on the court. Well, held on well. Unlucky then. I'd argue that advantage would have been helpful to Wales at that moment in time.
They really need this. 30 seconds to go.
Good first cut by James. Not going to fall for her. So Scotland finishing this game with change. Enon's on its centre. Costa in defence. These last 20 seconds. Second quarter till we hit half time. Scotland argue that we probably want to take it with 2 seconds left on the clock. But Goodwin takes full advantage.
I don't know the feeling for you, Lynn, but at the moment I feel that they're leading Goodwin and marking McDonald.
She seems to have a huge amount of space in there. Now credit to Goodwin, her movement has been really good. She's been effective in there, but way too much space under the post.
Yeah, definitely, and with Scotland having a lead of 30 goals to 18, you would like to think that, that is the main person that they try and shut down in this game.
So interestingly, we've seen a couple of different approaches by the 2 events this weekend. So our open challenge teams at half-time, 8 minutes is quite a long time, staying on the bench. I noted when England played earlier against Northern Ireland, both teams took yourselves away for a moment. Tell us why you think that would be a good thing to do at half-time.
I think it's just to take them away from the intensity of the core and the actual bench, and just to get them a little bit more around. I think that walk as well allows players just to recover, to really think, to link in with players as they start to walk off. And if you think the way they sit on the bench, you've got goal shooter one end, goalkeeper the other. They're so far from each other. However, you can get that keeper talking to the shooter. And 9 times out of 10, your captains tend to be more the end players. So they can start linking in, start to connect, and you can really get them in a huddle. Plus, at the moment, the bench is really close to the crowd, so it gives coaches opportunity to start to say things to the players that generally they don't want the public to hear as well.
You don't do that, do you? Tracy, as a coach, I am surprised to hear that.
I think some coaches, the language might change. So, yeah, I should go into the changing room. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Wales do in this. I can't see them coming out of this now because I feel that Scotland have got the momentum. It would mean that they would have to completely make some drastic changes, like take Goodwin off, which I can't see that MacDonald, the coach, would do, or that Wales really start to get their shooting end smartened up, get the shots in and get them high percentage areas actually sealed. But I can't see that happening in the second half of this game, Lynn.
So the scores at half-time, Scotland 30, Wales 18. That 12-gap difference moved up from 6, so Scotland in effect have doubled and capitalised on their score in the first half. So very even quarters for them. Scotland pulled ahead. Wales didn't make any progress into that first quarter, really. It will be disappointing. Quite a few changes by both teams in there, just trying to get it. Lots of changes in the shooting circle for Wales. Just feels like they're not quite sure yet what their best combination is.
Yeah, and I actually did think the way they come out in that first 5 minutes, they really started to get on top of Scotland. They got a couple of intercepts, they got a couple of opportunities, but there's no point having opportunities if you don't actually score them. And the major problem, and at the moment, Lynn, I'm unaware of the shooting stats, but I would say that probably is one end that is seriously letting them down. The confidence of the shooters getting that ball through the ring. And at the end of the day, we would like more people to be able to shoot, but it's not the game of netball.
Yeah, that's very true, Tracy. So here we are at the Aberdeen Sports Village at half-time in our second under-21 championship game this weekend. Scotland taking on Wales, so host nation here. As we said earlier, Tracy, Scotland finished second in the qualifiers last year in October for the World Youth Netball Cup, so they'll be pleased with this so far. Tournament at stake. You were talking earlier about England being here, a couple of other opportunities for England under 21 players this weekend. So actually it is really all to play for.
Yeah, I would actually say the first sighting of Scotland and Wales since, I think it was last time I was here, I think that was that 2015, Lynn? That was the last time I'd actually been exposed to this youth. And I do think that Scotland have done masses in respect to development, and you can see what Gail is doing within the Sirens team as well. She's integrating them youngsters with them senior players, really starting to build a culture, an environment and a training competitive environment, and you can see that some of these are coming out really experienced onto the court.
So if you were sitting on that bench instead of it being Nats Pepperell down there with Wales, what would you think she's going to potentially do for this quarter?
I would like her to give them something that's really basic and really clinical. Let's think about the strengths of Wales, of what they've been doing within that attack. They've been getting Llewellyn out on the line. They've been playing the short ball. The long ball at the moment's not working for them. Llewellyn has then been punishing down into that deep space. They've got the centre on the overlap going down into the pocket. Okay, and then what Llewellyn's doing really well is they're sending the ball through to the centre, and then she's just clearing up on the top. So you've got a really great feeding position into them tall shooters. What we're not seeing from them is that consistency of each one and nailing them each centre pass, and that is the way that they're beating Scotland. If we compare that to what Scotland are doing, they're getting their first phase of centre pass out easy, and you see with the defence that Wales are putting on, they're dropping back and allowing that to happen. Is that a good thing? Because we said there were three balls down there that are not being challenged, and I like the way that they're trying to come and win ball, but at some time they've got to dictate, and they've got to know where they're dictating to, and I don't think they're really clear on that.
So interesting again, watching the two teams, the difference in warming up. Scotland have got all their players out doing a full court warm-up, which you can understand. 8 minutes is a long time, both physically and psychologically, to get ready to go back on the game. Just want to say to the viewers back home, thank you for joining us here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Understand there's been a few sound problems, so our apologies for that. If you missed some of the game and it was key moments for you, don't forget you can watch it all again on the catch-up on Netball YouTube later on after the weekend. So please don't be disappointed. You will be able to see the games again. I think it's fair to say, Tracy, this has been a really good competitive game from both teams, although there's 12 goals in it. Still all to play for. I wouldn't like to rule Wales out just yet. We've seen them very competitive over the years. You and I both played them, and until that final whistle goes, as we say in netball, it's not all over.
Yeah, and you'd like to say that actually the score doesn't match what's being presented on court. You have got the observational view of saying, well, actually they're making a lot of errors, Wales, than Scotland, so obviously they're in advantageous positions. I do feel then that they're not really looking at this game properly in respect to what they're doing well, and that is sending the goal attack over the line, putting it forward over the top to wing attack, and then wing attack's just nailing it to goal shooter. So again, that connection, how can they do that? Keep that goal shooter away from wing attack, force that wing attack out to the line, or let's see if we're about forcing that wing attack to get that centre pass, because then what you're doing is you're challenging your goal attack and everybody else in play. So there's different ways that they could actually manage this game, Wales, and it'd be interesting to see whether they've actually thought about that to actually come out here and implement that in the second half.
So let's see what changes, if any, we will have on the court. So Wales have brought on Emmanuel at wing defence, perhaps thinking about strengthening the back there, linking in with Walker-Jones and Powell. Dyke still on, Llewellyn at wing attack, James back at goal attack, and Baker still on there on the court too. So just seconds away from the start of this second half, third quarter, Scotland v Wales, 30-18. So Sutherland judged to have contacted Baker, drives across the circle, but again, just that attention to detail, that touch ball.
Yeah, that ball, you've got a shooter who's, a big rangy girl who can hold space, and that ball goes into space, and that is the ball that they're not feeding.
That was a really good lean by Walker-Jones. Baker put it away. Scotland centre pass. See Wales dropping back, trying to put more pressure on that ball coming through. Good ball into Goodwin.
I would say, Lynn, through the game I thought Enon was my player of the match, but actually looking at it now I'm thinking Boyle is absolutely cruising around that, and I do think Eon has been quietened by being moved into the centre, because I think she was winning a lot of ball for Scotland.
So we talk about netball being a team sport, and Scotland clearly feel that the combination out there is the right one. So hold those thoughts about player of the game, because I will ask your view, and although we don't get to choose, it'll be interesting to see what you think in terms of these two players in the fourth quarter.
I think there's a lot of key players out there who've sort of got our eye. You can't excuse Goodwin at the back, who's, I can guarantee 100% now that she's probably going to nail this shot. Nearly commentator's curse. But there's three instrumental players who have really made a difference.
So the gap now 34 to Scotland, Wales on 18. 16 goals, start of the third quarter, quite a big ask. Wales, Baker pulls one back.
You can see as well that Beth now, obviously with Ainsworth going down at Surrey Storm, is getting a lot of court time, Sutherland, for Surrey Storm. And you can see, can you imagine playing in front of Nada Hutchinson, the development and the learning that she must be getting.
I'd rather play on the same side of her than against her, that's for sure.
But Nada's a real talkative person, and she'll really learn about where her position should be, what her angle should be, which ball she should be going for. And to be honest, Lynn, she's put three goal attacks to the bench, so she's doing a great job there in that defence.
I'm pretty sure that her mum Pat will be watching back home.
And how simple's that, Lynn?
Well, we say netball's a simple game. Give your ball to your shooters and put it in the ring. But good recovery by Scotland there. It's so important that those shooters put those easy balls in, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if Nat Propel would, when she looks at this, how many they get to shot.
It certainly feels at the moment like Scotland are having a lot more opportunities on goal than Wales are. Still 16, 35-19.
Look, clinical. Triangle, short pass, get the ball out there, get clear lines into the circle.
James. Take Wales to 20, still 15 behind Scotland. 11 minutes now in this quarter to go.
Yes, Llewellyn. What an excellent intercept from her.
And that's a real good example of all players on the court having to defend and all players attacking. Running it right up there at the third line. Now Wales just need to capitalise. Great play between James and Baker.
Llewellyn can make a real difference in this game. Then you saw she took the ball, she could play this whole attack herself and get that ball to that circle edge, because at the moment Scotland are unable to tame her. What she needs to be doing now is making sure she's finishing that off, not backing away, really taking on that wing defence.
Wasn't quite expecting that one, Powell. And a ball that perhaps... Oh, good vision there by Llewellyn. And all of a sudden, the score now, Scotland 35, Wales 22, so down to 13. So if Wales keep up this pressure, a couple more turnovers, we've got back down into single figures.
Yeah.
Good understanding there. Donald to Goodwin. Somewhat of a look there by Mr. Burgess.
No cautions as yet by
No.
Mr. Burgess.
So I think we had a few technical hitches in that last quarter. I don't think some of the viewers back home could see the scoreboard on the actual screen. And I know we had some technical problems, but it all seems sorted out now. Christina Davidson, thank you for letting us know. We'll do our best to also keep the score going as we talk about the game. So, unforced error by Scotland. Allows Wales been down, but good pressure by Scotland, not making it easy for Wales to get the ball out. Manuel settling in now. Came on at the end of that quarter.
Enon did an excellent mark on Dyke then, running for every ball, and I think that's where Dyke needs to just be a little bit smarter against Enon. If she just keeps running, Enon will keep running with her, so she needs to stop, wait, change direction.
Do something different.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a sense that Wales are getting themselves back into this game. But Goodwin's doing what she's doing all the game. Good positioning on the baseline and scoring goals. Great vision there by Beck, just perhaps forced it in.
Just, they love that ball, don't they? Straight into their shooter from the centre pass.
Well, it's a bit like we were saying earlier in some of the games like Israel, for example, and some of the other developing nations. They get used to playing a certain way, and when they come up against opposition who don't allow them to do that, they don't always react or change quickly enough to counteract it.
And I think that's where it's really important, tournaments like this, where you get against different styles, you get opportunities to play against different teams, and you get an opportunity to come and feel culture and different styles of play. And you see that with the top teams with New Zealand and Australia, completely different styles of play in respect to, you know, you need to get used to them, you need to get familiarity, and you need to play against them a lot of times to get used to them.
So Scotland now 38, Wales 24, and we're halfway through this third quarter of Scotland versus Wales match this evening. With me here, as I'm sure all the viewers know, is Tracy Neville, England coach, former England player. Not a bad goal attack, although the one who was playing with you wasn't bad either in your squad at the time.
I think we needed a replacement.
I think I'd agree with you.
She went on too many years, I think.
I think I would agree with you. So let's see now. under 21, I remember a very special England under 21 squad back in 1996, Canada World Youth Netball Cup, and how many of the players from that squad came into the seniors in 97?
I would probably say, was it about 5? There was Chantel, there was Lisa Stanley, there was myself, there was
Karen
Atkinson. No, she didn't go to that. It was Helen Lonsdale. And
Naomi Siddle. Amanda Newton.
She didn't go to World Youth. She come in the year after.
Oh my goodness, there you go. And you thought Amanda had been around for a long time. So the future for some of these young players certainly is bright. We have McDonald has an injury there. So after a really effective game so far, she takes to the bench. With 13 the difference at this moment in time. Scotland leading 39-26.
Oh, there goes Enon again. You stand, I'll come through.
Her work rate has been phenomenal. That's a great shot there by
quite a crucial one to bring them 12 goals in it now, Lynn, and we talked about 6 intercepts.
There we go. So Emma Love takes to the court at goal attack for Scotland, placing McDonald. Just forcing the ball there into James. Sutherland had it covered.
I look at shooters these days about how they go up for ball, and we look at it with James now, and just technically by looking at the moment she's going up to catch it with one hand, and you know, Lynn, when you've played against the best teams in the world, you may be going up to outreach it, but you get that second down on as quick as you can, and I think James is leaving her hand back here, and if you're playing against a really top defender, what they'll do is they'll hold on to that arm, so you're not going to get it up there, so you've got to get your arms out to get onto that ball.
I mean, it gives you so much more stability on the ball, getting both hands to it. And good coaches always say, if you can get one hand there, you could probably get the other one. Pull it in and own the ball. So it's getting closer and closer. So from 16 goals difference, we're now down to only 12. Scotland have hit 40. Wales 28 with just over 4 minutes of this third to go.
Did she have possession then, Lynn?
Oh. It's easy to say from here, isn't it, in some ways?
Especially when you've not got your umpiring qualification. Oh, I love that from a shooter. Play onto the same side, but then reverse roll onto the opposing side. And I think Goodwin's been absolutely outstanding at doing that in this game. And look at the smile on her face.
Walker-Jones is just hanging off there, which puts a bit of pressure on the court, but does leave them exposed at the back as the ball comes in. But good turnover. Powell looking to find Emmanuel there. Dyke. Enum straight back in there, though, cutting out the angles. Oh, that was a really good quality pass. Good positioning by James.
Did you see the urgency in Dyke then? When she wants to play, she makes a difference to this team. When she wants to sit back, she doesn't make a difference to that team. When she starts jogging around as she's doing at the moment, but actually when she utilises that change of direction, that speed, that cutting edge, she stops everything going. And we say that about Llewellyn as well, tries to do the same thing twice, and she needs to learn and adapt from that, because she's instrumental in that attacking end. She's one of their strongest players.
A lot of support back from the viewers. Melanie Mansfield, who we will know really well, used to play at England as well, Tracy. Really wishing Bethany Sutherland on to do have a great game here.
Yeah, obviously has coached Beverly at Surrey Storm for quite numerous years before she moved to Wasps. And I think Bethany played at Mavericks at some point.
That's a good control. Oh, very well read there. You know, you do sometimes think, well, I'm going to pop the ball to my shooter, and then a keeper comes in like that.
I think this is where the defence need to turn to the attack and say, how much ball do you need me to win back for you before you're going to actually capitalise on this?
So, Scotland, good one, really strong there. Control the ball, and so effective on the shooting. Scotland now 42, Wales 29, and a minute and a half to go to three-quarter time here at Aberdeen Sports Village, day 2 of the championship. Llewellyn suggesting that perhaps it was Wales' ball. The umpire agreed with her on that occasion. Only a minute to go. You can hear the bench talking about control down there, can't you? Make the right choice, which they did. 2 options there with Baker rotating the baseline. So we're down to 12 as the gap. Less than just about 30 seconds to go. Wales are going to want to score off this.
Bring it back to 11. This is a better quarter from Wales, Lynn.
Well, it was 12 at half time.
So if they score this goal, it means that they've won this quarter.
Yep. Scotland pulled away to 18, so Wales have fought hard to get back.
Crucial goal from Baker. Oh!
And the whole crowd and the team knew that very much. So there we go. Wales take that quarter by 1 goal. And we're back to 11. Scotland 42, Wales 31.
And a smile from Jamila here on the bench there as she sees the team in. She obviously knows that they led that quarter by 1. So they do have the potential to actually compete with Scotland. But again, what is letting them down? And we say the key areas that are letting them down at the moment is we need a higher work rate from the centre, because she does make a difference when she does them real strong drives and change the direction. And them shooters, at the end of the day, need to finish it off when they're given the opportunities. And I think if we saw them 2 differences, you could see this game take a different momentum.
And if we look down the other end, Tracy, at Scotland, at one point they were 18 goals up in that quarter, and they've let 7 goals go in the space of 15 minutes. That's quite significant, isn't it? What's going wrong in there?
If you actually looked at the point where they started to let the game go, and I actually do think it was the change of love onto that goal attack, because I do think that MacDonald and Boyle had a really good connection on them centre passes. If you look at the difference between the two, what was happening in the first part of the game was MacDonald was coming out, sending Boyle down into that circle edge, which was working effectively. With Love, she's not getting out for that first phase, but then on them second, when she is offering, she's offering towards the sidelines and tends to be offering behind the space of Boyle and not actually creating width, creating depth. So I think that is one of the major differences actually from how Wales were able to win that quarter.
So there'll be a degree of disappointment in the Scotland bench at this moment in time. 18 goals up, a few minutes to go in that quarter. You know, they had the opportunity of going possibly 20, and then 20 goals in a last final 15 minutes is probably asking a lot of any team to come back. But now, with an 11-goal game, it's going to take a couple of turnovers early on in the next quarter, back down to single figures, and then all of a sudden we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see if Wales make any changes, because I feel that the team that finished that quarter need to go out and build on that. They've won that quarter. The positivity, they've got England tomorrow. We are a strong side. We are a lot more clinical, I'd like to say, with our ball. So, you know, they need to be thinking now, what team are we going to start against England? Because if they're going to get back into this competition, they need to compete against us tomorrow. So if they don't make any changes, can they really cement that starting 7? And I think that is something that we were trying to do today. Look at combinations. There's a lot of uncertainties. These players have been out playing in NSL, been playing in under-21 competitions, been playing in under-19 competitions. So it's about cementing formations or connections on the court that can really cement. And I do feel Scotland are finding that. interesting to see whether Nat Papel has actually seen some of them connections today, whether she does make changes.
And she's not an inexperienced coach. I know she's only been in Wales about 6 months, but she did coach Swiss Netball for 2 years. She's been involved in Bath for a long time, so she has got a lot of experience.
Yeah, she has. She has been doing a great job down at Team Bath. You've seen some of the youngsters that, you know, we are fortunate to have a few on our court with obviously Paige Reed, Abby, you know, so she's doing a great job down at Team Bath. But again, it's a new culture for her to go into. Wales play different to the way Team Bath play, so you know, I bet she's learning on the job as well. And it's great that these coaches are taking these key positions, because you know, to go to a World Youth, or to go, as myself did, went to a World Cup, you know, you learn so much as a coach. It's that day in, day out competition, so you've not got time to plan, think. You've got to move on to the next game.
So we are here at the start of this last quarter, very exciting at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Interestingly, we have some changes. So Scotland have brought your player Enon back on at wing defence. You've said she's had a brilliant game, Tracy, and centre Metcalf. And for Wales, Emmanuel has gone to centre and Dunsford in at wing defence. So a change at the centre there. So Dyke is on the bench at this moment in time.
Yeah, I would probably have said that probably would have been my change, just because I don't think her work rate was high enough for what they actually needed. So it'd be interesting to see what Emmanuel can offer to this game.
So very competitive game there between Llewellyn and Sutherland. Both very experienced. Oh, great defence there.
Ball placement. You say you only need a hand to get that ball to that shooter, and she had probably a whole forearm to put that ball into space, and she puts it to that defensive reach. And you look at a defender's reach and you say you don't put it on the line of the arms, and that's what Wales keep doing.
It's one of the basic things that as coaches you try to teach people coming into netball, and you know, simplify it as head space. So wherever the heads are, put it away from where the defender's head is. You know, in line. You know, almost if you had a rule of
three heads.
There you go.
Three heads.
There you go. And it's a simple concept, and when you think about it and you explain it, you think, well, of course that's the case, but yet we still don't execute it on the court as effectively as we might do.
Yeah.
But there was a great interception there. Emmanuel's come on, moved from wing defence to centre, had an immediate impact on the game. Finds Llewellyn, and great baseline drive by Baker, drawing the defence, allowing James to score again for Wales. So Scotland 44, Wales 32.
They love that long ball in. And Emmanuel, she's been sat on the bench for 3 quarters, and you think she would have learned that actually that ball is not working against this opposition.
Well, McPhail quite enjoys those coming in. She's taking a number of interceptions. So let's see now, Scotland bring the ball down. Enon back on its wing defence.
Interesting, we said Llewellyn made a massive difference in that 3rd quarter, and they've put now Enon, who was saying is the best wing defence, back onto her. I think that was a really good decision by MacDonald.
45-32. You were saying that Enon was having less of an impact at centre, and now if Llewellyn's playing as well as she is, it's a very smart move by Leslie MacDonald, coach of Scotland.
Yeah, and you see the fluency that Scotland have. You know, they're not confident to throw that ball down into that deep position, which actually there was an option onto that goal attack.
It's a great ball in by Llewellyn to find Baker under the post. Nice drive. So this game is very tight. Scotland still leading 46-33. Oh, good hands there by Powell. Just judged to have contacted. Gary explained that so well and so nicely, though.
The defensive unit that Wales are putting up at the moment on the centre pass, I only seem to see either they do the 3 over or they drop the 3 back. And either one of them at the moment are giving too much space to that wing attack and goal attack, and I really do think they should just go back to a simple 2-on-1 or a man-on-man, because actually at the moment, you know, they're getting the ball where they actually want to, these wing attacking centres.
So again, Emmanuel driving onto the baseline there. Good position by James. Oh! You can sense Scotland getting.
Unsure who James was looking at there, as if she thought that was unfortunate.
Ooh. Oh. He who hesitates is lost. There was that. So 13 in it still. Just over 10 on the clock. Oops. I think that was accidental.
I'm not sure why Powell didn't catch that. She was in free space, ball in hand. She's definitely going to get a lot more of that as she starts to go up if she starts to play Super League.
Oh, that's the second one straight into Walker-Jones. Really good timing on her jump there. Better option. So Goodwin scores another goal for Scotland, taking that lead now. Slightly more comfortable, 47-33 from Scotland's perspective. Still 10 minutes on the clock though.
Yeah, up by 2 at the moment, Scotland, but they started the quarter last time like this in the third, and then Wales come back.
Again, really good drive and movement by James, much better than in that first quarter.
Yeah, I do feel that, and they have to understand this. If they want to hit the post, they have to hit the wide, because then you're bringing the defenders out. So they have to keep teasing these defenders back to the post or wide. At the moment, and we saw the fall guys in the game that the attackers were falling to was just wanting to feed to post. If you remember, Lynn, when the defenders, where do they always mark? They always mark the post, because that's the thing they're protecting. That's where shooters want high percentage positions.
That's exactly right. And actually, if you stand at the post, that's what the defenders are going to do.
Yeah.
So you've got to create some movement, some opportunities for.
Very lucky there, Baker.
James alleged to have contacted, wasn't really sure what she's done, looks a bit surprised. Fell, waited there for the penalty to be set. Just those last couple of passes now coming down into the attacking end for Scotland. They're just getting a bit sloppy, not quite as clean and clinical as they were.
Yeah, that goal attack isn't offering them what MacDonald offered them, but it's a great opportunity for Leslie MacDonald and the coaching staff to actually see what the other players can do in the team. And she does look very young, even though I could be deceived at this competition.
I think that's because we're very old, Tracy.
Speak for yourself.
I still think I'm the same age as all of you. That's the problem with me. That's great reading of the game there by Sutherland. Yeah, good win.
Oh, and that's the ball side position that you wanted the defenders to take. And it took them potentially about 45 minutes to be able to actually suss that out, that Goodwin wants ball side position.
So Walker-Jones, now supported in the circle by Fern Davis, come back on for Wales. That's a lovely passage of play.
I bet that won't be on replay, because that's probably the best we've seen from Wales. Ball side all the way through, but they've delayed there, and the timing into space was excellent.
So Seth, if you're listening, we'd like to see that one again for the viewers who might have blinked and missed it. It was a fantastic passage of play by Wales. So getting close now, halfway through this last quarter. Still
that brings them even now, Lynn.
47-36, only 11. So back to the score that we started this quarter with. So almost the same result, if you like, as in the third quarter. Scotland pulled away, and then Wales kept pegging them back. So now it's back to a draw in this quarter.
Yes, and let's see if Fern Davis can make a difference in that circle.
So not only has Fern Davis come on at goal defence for Wales, but they've switched the goal shooter, so you'll see Hitchens is back on there. James has gone to the bench. Surprised about that?
Interesting, no. I actually do think Hitchens' shot is actually probably one of the best of the shooters. The difference with Hitchens is she's got quite soft hands. So if we can get some soft ball into her or some height on that ball, I actually do think she's your best bet in respect to securing this. And you've seen now they have pulled back to a draw in this quarter, so them changes have made a difference for Natalie Pepperell.
Pepperell. I think you find it's Pepperell. I'll help you out on that one, Tracy.
Sorry, now. It's been a long day.
Oh, good shot by Goodwin. I think Scotland will be pleased that one went in. So it takes the margin back to 12 goals with 6 minutes left. Task for Wales starting to look a little bit more challenging now as we head into the last part of this match.
She definitely has made a difference.
So Wales are definitely tighter there on the centre pass for Scotland as well. It's not as easy for that ball to come out, putting a lot of pressure on.
And talking about Emmanuel in that middle, I do think she's offering Wales a little bit more than what Dyke offered. And that is that little bit of speed, that little bit of fitness coming through the court, and that work rate that you want from your centres. I like to think them as sweepers, they clear up all the mess that is being created on court. And there has been a little bit of mess in that attacking end for Wales.
So Llewellyn will be disappointed at that. 12 goals the difference. Well, Scotland have now hit their half century, Wales 38. 5 minutes left on the clock. So Tracy, we started talking about how some of the players were playing. Let's talk about who you now think are the outstanding two players, one from each side. So Scotland first.
I don't think you can discard Goodwin in this game. I think for me to do that would be absolutely detrimental to her and her contribution within that attacking end. I think Beth Sutherland, you know, she's how many shooters has she put to the bench? They've constantly put that, the pressure coming on, and you're looking at Enon. But she did have a quiet patch when she went to centre, so it's very difficult for me to actually say this, but I probably would go with Sutherland and Goodwin at this point, even though that can't describe against Enon, who actually for probably 30 minutes of this game did make actually a difference.
Walker Jones coming out there. Okay, so you've done what a lot of commentators, coach, do, sat on the bench and picked a number of players.
No, I would say Goodwin and Sutherland in this game.
Okay, I think that's helpful. So Sutherland defender and Goodwin down the other end. So interesting, they've been playing in the circle against like that. And then for Wales, who do you rate as effective in this game?
There's no probably one player that's been consistently throughout, but I would actually say that probably Llewellyn, when she's been playing well, she's been really effective in that wing attack. And I do think that Walker Jones has actually come on and made a difference in the game as well.
So we've now got a 15-goal game with just over 3 minutes on the clock. This probably now is beyond Wales' ability to come back.
Can I put Boyle in there for Scotland as well? I've got 3 minutes to say this.
Well read by McPhail there, putting pressure on, prepared to come out and have a go at the game. Sutherland, so Scotland brought McDonald back on at goal attack in that last little shuffle around. Probably not surprised.
No.
Just making sure they close the game out now.
Definitely not surprised, but what an experience for Love in this game. She's come on, she's been able to experience her own nations, and obviously put her name forward for that World Youth Cup selection.
It's great to see Scotland with such competent shooters. Yeah, 56 Scotland, Wales on 38. Haven't scored for a few minutes now. Good defence by Scotland. Oh, almost got it by Sutherland there. Baker puts one back.
It's difficult on the man of the match though, Lynn. Because you think your shooter's getting all your goals in, but she has to be provided by someone.
Exactly.
And you have to get ball back off Wales as well. So you know, that there's been some really good performances from 4 players in this Scotland side.
Well, we will find out on Sunday who the coaches of all the teams thought were the most valuable players of each game. Good man marking there by Davis, didn't let it go. Just over 1 minute to go. Scotland now 58, 2 off that 60, and actually we're looking at almost a 20-goal game here, right from 11.
Oh, I know. And you question whether should they have brought Hitchings on, because actually that even though they did come back for a couple of the goals, that is when the game started to drift away from them. Yep. And obviously they've made the difference of Davis in that circle, which I actually thought Powell was doing a good job. She was threatening that high ball into Goodwin.
Great recovery by McPhail again in Sutherland. Well held there. So there you go. You go for it convincingly. You've got to hope your other defenders back in the circle. So 1 off. Are they going to hit 60? Make it a 20-goal game? That will be quite an achievement.
And I think that passage of play from Wales just summed everything up. They're trying to win ball everywhere on court and leaving so many spaces for Scotland just to throw to their attackers. You know.
So here we go. Last 10 seconds. 60-40 on the clock.
And again, that sums up Wales again. You know, that long ball into the shooter that has never been on. But look at the Scotland fans there, Lynn. Such pleasure on their faces. And I'm sure they'll be very intimidating against us on Sunday.
So, Tracy, that's it now here from Aberdeen in this game. Scotland take a convincing win in the end. 60 goals against Wales 40. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. For those of you who have been tuning in, make sure you join us again tomorrow. First game up in the morning, 11 o'clock. We'll see Republic of Ireland take on Bermuda, which will be a really tough game. And remember, you can have your say here at home. Hashtag #NELoveNetball. So, Tracy, final comments.
I think Scotland really deserved that win, and we talked about the probably 4 outstanding performances from Enon, from Boyle, from Goodwin and from Sutherland, and 4 key players we talk about at the international level about winning the game. If they can outdo their and outsmart their partners, then they're going to win the game. And you know, they feel right to have smiles on their faces and their parents and family cheering for them because they were more consistent.
Okay, Tracy, well, thank you very much. I'm sure Scotland are going to go home really pleased tonight. Wales have got something to work on. Remember, we have plenty more action coming up in the next couple of days, but if you have missed it, you can catch up with it all on the Netball Europe YouTube channel. This has been a Netball Europe and QTV Sports coverage in association with Visit Aberdeenshire and Inspire Sport. My thanks to Tracy. It's been a pleasure having you here this evening, and of course a great thank you to all of you at home for tuning in. From all of us here at the Aberdeen Sports Village in Scotland, have a very good evening.